Dom and I have been running down the mystery of our alchemically odd plants and degraded scries. We've got a working hypothesis, but we're going to need to lean on you again to prove it.
What's led you to the hypothesis?
Dom's been digging into the scry and noticed some tiny changes in yours that he's not seen before. Lane used a few leftover petals from the Mirian's bloom to run more tests. You really have an incredibly talented team here.
You're right on top of this.
I have been taking notes from my favorite point. She has this habit where she just drags things forward by force of will.
I do, don't I? There's just so much to do. Why ask permission when the next step is right there? As long as I don't have to do any more cross-swamp runs, count me in.
Worse, I'm afraid. We think the source of the problem might be the miasma. Darm's theory is that it's slowly affecting the patterns inside the Enclave.
Our enchantments?
Everything. We've never been able to perceive or harvest them, but there's a school of thought that everything alive has a pattern in it. And if that pattern allows us to interact with and control magic, the theory goes that magic might be able to affect us in turn.
You think we're in danger?
Obviously, tangles are inherently dangerous, but that's the question we want to answer. Could they affect the creatures here in more subtle ways? Could too much magic explain the Spitfire's behavior? If so, we have to worry there might be long-term effects on all of us.
Spirits. How do we prove it?
You've been collecting resonance for all your time in here, as have our enchanters. That data gives us a baseline. What he needs, then, is a comparison resonance harvested during a miasma from any of the natural beasts. Arcs won't help, alas.
Right. I'll tackle it as soon as I can.
this cannot vault more data.
That has to be enough. Done?
Yes. Any more comparison points would suffer from diminishing returns. I appreciate your dedication, Brynn.
If we ever get this place under control, will you run classes?
One thing at a time, Eric.
Sounds like a yes to me. I'm with you, Brynn. Didn't expect the miasma to be so intense over the scry.
You get used to it. Just have to use a more gentle touch and feel the way it slides.
precisely under what conditions it's harvested, it will be perfect for our study.
What's the verdict with the resonance comparisons, Dom? Are we all doomed?
Not doomed, no. But I have every reason to be concerned. Tangles only form in areas of intense magical concentration. That they're so common here in the Enclave makes it clear that this place is overflowing with magic. Have you ever blown into a bladder until it pops? I worry that's where we're headed.
No. Have you?
Ah. Well, I am from Renland.
The patterns did show signs of change then.
Subtle but present. What was intriguing was watching them relax over time, as if the miasma caused them to contract like a muscle.
So things might recover if we could bring an end to the tangles?
I think so. How exactly we pursue that agenda, I'm not sure. But we have several leads we can pursue.
We have to tell the Axel, though. She needs to know about this so we can take every precaution.
Oh. We?
Yeah. It's time. Meet you there.
Both of you this time. Must be important.
It is. We've identified a long-term risk to our people. A source of decay in our enchanted devices. And I've prepared a list of safety measures we should take.
You have.
Yes, we... Wait. Why did you say that like you already know?
Arakim, do you know how intense the competition to become Axel truly is? Even in our diminished state, it is ruthless. Each guild jockeying for its representative to be elevated. To win the seat, you need allies, knowledge, and the will to use both.
You've been watching us this whole time.
I have been watching you, Brynn. Yes. I have been judging Arakim.
Always a test.
What I have seen is growth. Your enthusiasm and energy has never been in question. But your judgment and initiative have often been rash. But in working with Brynn's band, I've seen you set goals, lead plans, move from asking permission to making your case. Just as you came here to do, did you not? To lay out a set of clear steps we should take to preserve our new scries and keep our people safe?
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to do.
You should act on your recommendations with my complete support. I know you're not making them lightly, and they affect your people the most. So yes, it was a test. And as Khan, it will be the first of many.
You just said Khan.
I did. The scouts have been ignored for far too long, as we try to pretend everything is as it was. Enough. Unless you disagree, Arik.
No, not at all. We've been pushing for this forever.
Good. And you should thank Brynn when we're done. She raised a very salient point in our last chat that swept away the last of my hesitations. Now take a knee, would you? There's work to be done, and neither of us is really built for fancy ceremonies. If we have learned anything in the past while, it's that standing too firmly on ceremony costs us time and opportunities. We, as a people, would have withered and died without the tireless efforts of your scouts and their forebearers. And yet we have not recognized them out of fear of tipping a balance that was already lost. And so I elevate you, Arakim Katabi, to the station of Khan of the Enclave, and grant you the title of Guide. May your initiative and care chart a path for us all.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Brynn and Sola told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Did you leave the Norians to become Sola's apprentice?
One never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path. And Sola was kind enough to accept me for mine.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but was hoping you'd stay on after.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And he took me more into his confidence as a result.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert. And we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts. And so, the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control, water, information, wealth, and they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil for some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, and you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
I'm sure we all have things we want to say, to Sev and each other. But that can wait. Right now, while we're all here together, we need to focus on next steps. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon. Or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the Underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things, then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wanted to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source. In the hopes of discovering how it worked, he had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Brynn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Brynn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Brynn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get to work.
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something like 7 distinct major crises each day. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
The second one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove problem. We use specially enchanted coals to maximize burn time and minimize weight, and we're dead out of them. And second, the stove itself is dented. Rather badly.
What? How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't do stove maintenance. I'm the logistics girl. Maybe Sev sat on it.
He's still got bum fur, so if he did, it wasn't on.
Regardless, this is a Dam and Sola fix. One problem each.
I'm not sure they're in the best place right now.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you, and can be grown-ups for the good of the group. Oria's already sick of salad.
Ah, good. We're all here.
Yes, we're here to talk about the stove.
Anyway, stove's not working. Campfire sucks by comparison. How are we fixing this?
Yes, please, let's talk about the stove.
How did we run out of coal anyway? I spent 2 days in Varentia working on that last batch.
Sure. But then we ended up in the Enclave. So now we need to find more. Also in the Enclave.
I don't easily have the materials to process another batch. But the temple might have some. I hate to admit it, but that was the one Really useful thing I took out of my time with the Church of the Hallowed Pyre. They know their fuels.
Great! Temple. But what good's coal without a proper place to burn it for cooking?
Solar? If we're able to find coal like before, then it'll just be a case of reforming and reinforcing the old stove. I will need a few materials. I'll draft up a list for Brynn.
Good. Excellent. We're moments away from hot food. Go team!
So I'll...
Go team!